Hello, Sun Prairie School Board. This is James Ackley. I'm the principal of Royal Oaks Elementary School, and I was asked to share a couple quick points with you regarding our 100-day plan and just some of our parts of our 100-day plan that are moving our kids forward. So before I do, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you and our senior leaders and directors for sticking with this process. I've been doing this a long time, and I've found that our 100-day plans and the components of a 100-day plan, specifically the theory of action, the problem of practice, and our specific treated actions, our action steps, is some of the best planning that I've done in Sun Prairie to help move kids forward in their learning in a real strategic manner. So I'm going to try to articulate that in the next 10 minutes or less, and hopefully you enjoy the presentation. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to start out with our actual 100-day plan. And as you know, we had a fall plan, a winter plan, and a spring plan. And our SP 100 team consists of myself and Joan Bartle, our associate principal, our instructional coach, Mary Leffler, two classroom teachers, a K2 rep and a 3-5 rep, and a student services rep. And we're looking to grow this next year, with including our learning strategist and a 2-3 rep. So we'll have 3 teacher reps on there. How we've generally done things at Royal Oaks is we kind of set our plan for the year in June. We have 2 days in June where we set the plan. And then in November, after our first 100 days, we'll kind of modify our plans a little bit, but we'll kind of stick with our big rocks. And then we'll do that again in March. This past year, our big rocks were continued growth in becoming a highly effective PLTs, common formative assessments, and responsive classroom teacher language, and a review of interactive modeling. So 3 things that align with the school district scorecard and of course, the continuous improvement plan. So we were asked to share our problem of practice focused on our students of color and other specific groups in our school. And as you can see here, our problem of practice states how we might intentionally plan our reading and math instruction through PLCs and PLTs to provide more targeted instruction during core instruction and tier 2 intervention for Black students and students with disabilities, so that their growth in reading and math meets expectations based on the FastBridge assessment. So our focal point and our thought process is that if we create solid core instruction and solid tier 2 interventions for our Black students and our students with disabilities, all of our boats will go up, all of our student learning will go up. And we pride ourselves of being a school of high fidelity when it comes to implementing our core instruction. So that's part of our plan. And then our theory of action is quite lengthy and quite complex, but you know what? This work is quite complex, I've gathered over the years. We have 430 some kids in our school, and every single one of them, and we call them rockets. And every single rocket fires a little differently. So it is complex work. So our theory of action is if we intentionally plan our reading and math instruction through PLTs for Black students and students with disabilities, and staff analyze student learning in order to intentionally design rigorous and coherent core instruction, and intentionally plan tier 2 interventions, and staff participate and engage in coaching in order to grow as learners, and staff evaluates and owns the impact of their instruction through team and self-reflection, and asset-based language is used when speaking about students and adults, and staff implement components of responsive classroom, then growth in reading and math for Black students and students with disabilities will meet expectations based on the FastBridge assessment. That's a lot in there, and it would certainly take us a lot more than 10 minutes to break that all down. But at the end of the day, it is the practices that our SP 100 team, which is a representative of our guiding coalition, believe will be able to meet our goal of meeting our Black students and our students with disabilities where they need to be met in order to grow them as learners. To kind of pick out a couple of those to speak to, our tier 2 intervention is really taken off as far as part of our WIN block process. And during our WIN time at Royal Oaks, our classroom teachers implement tier 2 intervention. We do have a learning strategist. She implements some interventions as well, obviously, throughout the day. And we actually brainstorm as teams during PLT to kind of figure out what's working and what we need to change. And the nice thing about the 100-day plan is that we're constantly reevaluating our work through common formative assessments. And then, of course, in the fall, winter, and spring windows of the FastBridge assessment to see how we're doing. And if students are in a tier 3 intervention with Liz Olson, our learning strategist, they're getting progress monitored much more frequently. I'm a huge proponent of instructional coaching. We have our instructional coach that works closely with all of our teams to make sure that we're implementing our curriculum to fidelity. Obviously, a big lift in the next few years with a brand new ELA curriculum and CKLA. Excited for that. And then you have to have that collective efficacy. You've got to have that asset-based language to believe that this can be done. And we do. And it's not easy, but we believe it can be done. So we have that asset-based language, and then we talk about implementing responsive classroom strategies, even when it comes to morning meeting, when it comes to teacher language, interactive modeling, what we want to look like when we transition, and those kind of things. As simple as that, to what we want it to look like when you're finding main points and subpoints and some supporting details in reading passages, so that you can write good summaries and good research. So a lot going on there. And again, we feel if we can create these systems for our Black students and our students with disabilities, two of our groups right now that are not making the kind of growth that we want, we believe that it will rise the performance of all of our students. Scrolling down, taking a look at our action plan. Our big lift early on was PLT work. And we've stayed true to that all year long. We've modified things a little bit in the November and the March 100-day plans, but overall we have stuck true to our work to improve our PLT, starting with something as simple as norms and agreements in order to become a highly effective team, to collaborate well, to plan well, to intentionally plan time and share PLC agenda so the resource team members can be prepared for the day. PLT takes place actually all the time. It happens mostly on Thursdays, but our teachers are talking and planning as they're walking their kids to specials, as they're walking out for lunch, as they're walking out for recess. It happens all the time in education. And our PLT teams aren't any different, but if you can set the agenda ahead of time, it's a great plan. This is our fall plan. Our winter plan is a modification of that. The theory and action and problem of practice stay the same for the year, but we're going to take a look at our spring one. And we talked about implementing tier 2 reading interventions. We've been talking about that all year long. This last one is we really wanted to reflect on that, which ones were effective, which ones weren't effective. We wanted grade levels to collaborate. We partnered 5 and 4, 2 and 3, K and 1. We let them get together on their April 12th day, PD day, and just talk about the kind of interventions that worked really well. We've also done a lot of common formative assessments. Again, a big thank you for allowing us to attend the PLT Institute in August back at the Monona Terrace. Our team walked away from there thinking, man, we need to really wrap our brain around common formative assessments. And Jackie Goldthorpe and Rick and our coach, Mary Leffler, have really helped us wrap our brain around common formative assessments, because we need to find a progress monitoring tool that will tell us if what we're doing is working more frequently than the FastBridge. And that's what our CFAs are doing. And to show you a little CFA, I'm going to, this last PD on the 12th, we also took a standard from our ELA work, which is basically finding main points and retelling with supporting details. We took sorry about that, you're probably getting vertigo as I'm trying to figure this out. But every grade level created a CFA. And the CFA can be one of 3 things. It can be performance-based, which is kind of a new concept, like a presentation style. It can be a selected response, which old school would be multiple choice, or it can be a constructed type, which would be like short answer. So for my generation, multiple choice, short answer, or a presentation are the 3 ways that we can do a CFA. And our grade levels, K, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all created CFAs to go along with that essential standard of summarizing portions of a text and determining a theme or central idea and explain how it is supported by key details. That's a 4th grade summary there, same kind of concept going through. So that aligns with our 100-day plan around CFAs. And then our last part of our work this year was to continue our work around teacher language, reinforcing, reminding, and redirecting through responsive classroom. And we've done a lot of work through our staff meetings. Our student services really does a good job of facilitating this learning and kind of encouraging us. We kind of did a fun little activity where we give rocket slips to adults that are showing teacher language, responsive classroom teacher language when it comes to reinforcing, reminding, or redirecting student behavior and habits. So anyways, that's kind of the three things that I was asked to speak to: site, theory of action, problem of practice, and strategic actions. I hope I made it. I should have been timing myself, but hopefully I made it in about 10 minutes or so. I will be there to answer any questions you have, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. So again, thank you for the support, and I look forward to the conversation.